Hello guys, never mind, let's try that again. Hello ladies and gents, I hope you're well. I hope you had a fantastic day so far. Today we are on set with Luke on behind the scenes camera, so big shout out to him. And we're doing a small little set of interviews for There For You, as you can see behind me. So we're now going to just go in, set up, prep some locations, get an idea of where we're going to set up, and then we're going to meet the client and etc. And we're going to do our best to share that process with you as well. And there'll be other videos to come talking about this process in more depth. So we'll see you in a moment.
A few moments later.
We could shoot in here, right? So, because we need something clean, right? Issue with this in here is, in the politest way possible, there's a lot of stuff, right? So, we could move all the tables out of the way and use this center space, but no matter which way we point the camera, we're gonna have to clear the background. So that's the process now, really. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, we're now gonna go upstairs to see if we can ask if we can use upstairs, because the lighting's better and it fits. I think it fits better as well. So let's go ask the question. Hello.
Hello.
Sorry to interrupt.
That's right, no, I'm just coming down, literally.
I was gonna ask, could we use up here? Is that a big pain?
Will that bother you? No, but remember on the phone calls, if the phone rings and stuff, does that bother you? Yeah. And I will be doing phone calls and things, that's the trouble.
The only issue, and it's not an issue, is this is the best lit area in the entire place.
It is.
If that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
And it also fits what we're trying to do, I think.
Okay.
I know it's been really cheeky, but
Yeah, you can't do personal calls if we're up here, so no, we're going to have to make something work down.
no worries. There we go. And what I'll do actually is I'll just flip it to the other side so it's on the outside, so it doesn't rub. So you can actually move around, unlike Joe, just stay very still. There we go.
Going shopping, preparing meals. It might be managing your laundry, loading with the washing machine, hanging things out on the line, or even the dreaded changing of the duvet, which I think we all struggle with at the best of times. So it would be those kind of things that people start to generally think, actually I need a little bit of help with that.
I mean, is that a thing you can help with? Because I imagine the transition from potentially someone living on their own, or potentially, not having someone with them 24 hours a day, and then having someone there 24 hours a day can be very challenging. So is that something that you do help with? Is that how have you guys found that transition with your clients?
Yes, so obviously aftercare, so like a little holiday really, 2-3 weeks, sometimes up to a month. They can see if they like it. So how do you feel that we're going to be able to help you with these things, and do you think that you're going to be safe? And we are very open and honest with people, and if we think that it's not the right decision, we will tell them, but ultimately it is their decision.
Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, that was much better. Fantastic. I think I don't want to tempt fate. I think we might be good.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Should we go again from the top? I think that might be easier for you as well. Do you want to make a cut on all the cameras or not? What do you think?
I think we're okay.
Okay, that's fine. So what would you describe as good care, Joe?
Okay, so
And for those that don't know, because a lot of the time when we talk about things, we try to stay away from language. So what does a DBS do? In the respect of what is its job? What does it mean? Why is a DBS important for people who don't know?
of course,
And then I think the next question would be, so we've talked about the red flags a bit. We've talked about DBS and why it's important, but what would be your description of good care? You've sort of touched on it a little bit, but
I'll get you to wait a sec. So I can...
it's all right, mate. It's all right, mate.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Because obviously, if you're going to make a cut after your question, you'll
Yeah.
just hear it in background. So wait a second.
I'll also give Jo a moment to think about how she's going to answer that.
Yes.
That's fine. I was quite lucky because we did some work for Elaborate, and Elaborate requires everyone who's volunteering or doing anything for them to have a DBS. But then I was like, well, can you cover the DBS then? Because if you require it, it's that catch. They were like, no, it's fine, we'll cover the DBS. So then that's why I have a DBS.
Yeah, yeah.
Because of the other work, and also some clients ask, well, do you have a DBS? Especially if we're filming children and such as well, it's important. Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I asked you to explain what a DBS is, because not everyone's, because I know what it is, but that's because I have experience with the DBS.
Yes, of course, and they might not know to ask.
Should we go for it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So the question is,
Yeah.
how would you feel if a client asked you to back up what you're saying,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah, brilliant.
Because that way we're framing it as the client, instead of it being, well, you make sure you ask,
Yeah.
you know, it will feel more comfortable. So, we ready to go, Luke? Fantastic. Do you think we've covered everything on good care? That's all right. That's why I wanted to circle back to check, because in my head I'm going, I don't know the answer to that question, so let me ask the question, so then I have the answer, and make sure that we're covering we might not use all of them, but I'd rather have all the bits. What's next? But yeah, I think initially for me the main goal for this bit is just to establish, firstly, who you are, secondly, what you do, and thirdly, then how you got into it. So how, like, you know, because everyone's journey into what they do is always different, and it can be very relatable.
Yes.
So I don't know. I mean, are you happy for just to feel it out, and I'll sort of push around in the direction that I feel's kind of interested in, or could be interesting to the potential, you know. I mean, I think also part of the objective side, I mean, are you still looking to recruit? I imagine you are. So possibly think about that a little bit when you're talking about it, because we could spin it in a recruitment side as well, from a social perspective. So I think firstly, you know, that's the overall goal, but let's just cut it down to we're not thinking about too many options all at the same time. So the initial point is just, who are you? Well, how did you get to this point? And what do you do? And whenever we try and discuss it, we're trying to talk in layman's terms, because the reason why is because most people will not necessarily have the preconceived understanding like DBS. And that's why I try to get clients to explain the acronym first, so that people can just go in and completely understand what we're talking about later on, so that it's not like, what's a DBS? Or what's NLP? Or what's etc. You know, in that respect. So yeah, whenever you're ready. Yeah, so it's up to you. We can have it as a conversation, but it can just be, you know, hi, I'm Joe, yada yada yada, and then, you know, today I wanted to talk a little bit about how we got started, that kind of thing, and then sort of lead into it, and then when you sort of come to an actual pause, I'll then guide you a little bit more in respect to where we could go with it.
A few moments later.
Kind of establishing and explaining a little bit on, it's actually very open, and it's actually very welcoming, and it's actually very, not easy, but it's as in the entry level is quite easy. Because I think the misconception is people would look at your company and go, no, it's just, no, you know, because the barrier to entry in their head perceivably would be really high.
Yes.
And I don't believe it actually is. But until you bring those levels down to explain to people that actually, you know, I mean, I think the question there would be, is carers, or is caring, or the care role suited to a certain kind of person? We also had some extra time, so it was great to be able to hear a little bit more from her about how she started her business as well. But also we got Luke on the behind the scenes camera today, so massive thank you to him for helping out on this video and on this production, because it makes my life a lot easier, because then I can focus on working with Joe, especially when it comes to actually getting the best out of her and really focusing on those questions that we're trying to ask. Welcome back, ladies and gents. So that's kind of wrapped up today's filming session, really. I mean, deliberately I scheduled, as I was just talking to Luke about before we started filming again, mainly about why we schedule a full day for these. The reason why I mean is schedule a full day is because then we're not clock watching. Then we can spend the time to explore whatever we need to, and, you know, I can make sure that I'm spending that time with Joe to make sure she's feeling comfortable with what we're going to talk about. She's comfortable with the lighting setup, she's comfortable with the camera setup, because this can be very intimidating. The entire process of filming a video can be very intimidating. So what we tried to do is we tried to make it as easy for that client as possible. It was, ironically enough, I was talking about a friend of mine last night about this, and what we try and do at Ranter Media is we try to handhold that client as much as we can through this process so that it's easy for them. It's really easy. It can be as easy as possible for them to create that content and feel also confident in coming across on camera as well, because you're not going to be having a conversation with the camera, you're going to be having a conversation with me like this. So as long as you're comfortable with me, then that's why, that's how. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video and you found it valuable, make sure to leave it with a like. I'd love to hear what you think in the comment section down below, and I'll leave Luke's links in the description down below, because he is part of the reason why this vlog even happened, because, you know, from a production standpoint, I'm focusing on working on the production. So big shout out to him, and thank you ever so much to him. But I'll leave his links in the description down below, as I say. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see more like this, then make sure to be subscribed, and I'll see you very, very soon.